Hello and thank you for joining us on Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Lami Ali. Join us online on nta.ng/live and other social media platforms of the NTA displayed on the screen for updates. In consonance with his promise to remove all barriers impeding business growth in Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu has approved the establishment of a presidential committee on fiscal policy and tax reforms. The committee will be chaired by fiscal policy partner and Africa tax leader at PricewaterhouseCoopers, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele. In a release, Special Advisor to the President on Special Duties, Communications and Strategy, Dele Alake, indicates that the committee will comprise experts from both the private and public sectors and have responsibility for the various aspects of tax law reforms. The release also shows that the Special Advisor to the President on Revenue, Mr. Adela Buzak Adedeji, explaining that President Tinubu recognizes the importance of a sound fiscal policy environment and an effective taxation system for the functioning of the government and the economy. He outlined the key challenges in Nigeria's tax systems to include multiple taxes and revenue collection agencies, fragmented and complex tax system, low tax morale, high prevalence of tax evasion, high cost of revenue administration, lack of coordination between fiscal and economic policies, and poor accountability in the utilization of tax revenue. These efforts will not only improve Nigeria's revenue profile, but also create a more conducive and internationally competitive business environment. President Bola Tinubu has praised the decision of his Senegalese counterpart, President Macky Sall, not to seek a third term in office after the end of his tenure. President Sall, who is due to complete his second term of office in 2024 on Monday, told the people of Senegal, a country considered as one of the most stable democratic governments in Africa, that he would not offer himself as a candidate for the February 25th, 2024 presidential election in his country. President Tinubu noted that with this decision, President Sall has put the interests of his country, the peace and stability of the West African region above his personal interests, and history will be kind to him. Tinubu believes that President Sall has demonstrated that leadership is about serving the people honorably and quitting the stage when the constitutionally stipulated time is up, saying by this example, democracy and respect for people power will take stronger roots in Africa and will continue to flourish. When it leaves the drawing board, where it is now going through the planning phase, the Renewed Hope initiative will provide needed relief for vulnerable women and children across various strata of the Nigerian society. The convener of the project and Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, restated this after another meeting with members of the governing board for the initiative, as the Villa State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
Sequel to the June 2023 inaugural meeting, members of the governing board of Renewed Hope Initiative are again at the Villa to meet with the convener, Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. It was a closed-door meeting, but one with a clear interventionist agenda. Still in the works, the initiative is a vision with many moving parts, as indicated by the range of deliberations at the meeting, which centered on how to get the pet project off the ground.
We are all ready to go to CAC. All the documents are in, all our board of trustees are in. So we have board of trustees and then the governing council, which comprises of board of trustees and other members. But we are also expecting well-meaning Nigerians to partner with us, because we are ready to start implementation if we can, if it's not to where we needed other things. But I think we're very good to go.
Its broad implementation across various strata of the society is key. Therefore, it is important to secure the buy-in of critical stakeholders.
We have a meeting next week with all the first ladies in the Federation. It is very important because we are here in Abuja. How do we now get to the states? And they have mothers in the state who can help us with that. They have mothers. We have mothers also in local government, which wives of governors would, be working with, like I'm working with them. It's not a road we've not treaded before, so it's somewhere we've done before. Charity work is what I do.
The end goal, according to the First Lady, is to use the initiative as an intervention that empowers women, children, and other vulnerable groups in critical focal areas.
Our mission is better life for our families. So it's something that involves a family to get by, to stand. And when it comes to area of health, we are looking at mental health.
Members of the governing board are eager, positive that the initiative will impact target groups in the country.
The door is open to all the many individuals, maybe the international NGOs, still maybe with the local NGOs. So I think the project is going to be a teamwork. So it's something that we all need more hands to be on decks to see how we can support.
She said now that we are good to go. So by next week, we will let you know more plans and more ideas we have.
Ahead of the takeoff, more of these meetings are expected to hold, all in the bid to ensure that more grounds are covered and details fine-tuned. In the State House, Adeni Itawo, NTA News.
Elections and party management in Nigeria are expected to be better understood if the right political education is imbibed by the citizens. This was the thrust of discussions at an orientation program by the National Institute for Legislative Studies for the University of Benin postgraduate students. John Yaku has details.
The 2022-2023 academic session orientation program by Leeds is the 10th since the establishment of the institute in 2013. The institute initially trained National Assembly members and staff on legislative matters, but its scope was expanded to include other specialized courses like Masters in Election and Party Politics, as well as postgraduate diploma in Election and Party Management.
Because of the perception of people concerning politics in general, that people that are people into politics are people that are not really serious or doesn't know anything. But in order to correct that, I think that's the purpose of this school, and to enhance people that are interested.
Other specialized courses offered at the institute are Masters in Legislative Drafting, Parliamentary Administration and Legislative Studies.
I have to have the prerequisites, becoming a parliament and doing legislative business better for our citizenry.
Opportunity comes from the prepared. So this program, I enrolled for it to prepare myself ahead for the opportunity.
This orientation for students centered on the use of ICT facilities in a digital world, use of modern library, and introduction to postgraduate program requirements.
And so it's very important, please try to save all your work on the cloud so that you don't run into that situation where your flash drive is down, your laptops are crashed.
Currently, we have NUC approval for all these programs.
The management of the institute says it admitted 104 students for the 2022-2023 academic session.
People outside the National Assembly are now interested in these courses because they are specialized courses.
With the orientation, which I'm sure must have been very, very carefully and professionally put together, you have a roadmap, you have a guide.
Statistics at NIS showed improved female enrollment of 57%, with 46% of them in LLM program. In Abuja, John Yaku, NTA News.
The Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, has set up a committee to carry out a thorough review of the 2023 election with a view to engender dialogue between all stakeholders on electoral reforms. Chairman of the Council, Yaba Gisani, stated this after the Council's general meeting in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf has the story.
This particular IPAC General Assembly meeting is born out of the recent European Union Election Observation Mission report, which the Council emphasized that it has noted the content and recommendations as well as other reports and will respond as active and most critical stakeholder in the electoral process within 2 weeks. IPAC Chairman Yaba Gisani explained that the move is to achieve improved democratic practices in Nigeria.
People are entitled to their opinion. You can't take it away from them. But we, as the critical stakeholders, we have our own opinion. We know what we need. We know what has happened. And that is why we are not so much bothered about what any other person may say. Not even EU. Any other person can say whatever they like. That's why I say you can't cry more than they breathed.
Comparatively, IPAC is of the opinion that the 2023 general election was one of the most meticulously prepared polls in recent times. The Council noted that INEC should be commended for the technological innovations introduced, especially in the accreditation of voters using the bimodal voter accreditation system BVAS, which has generally been scored high by voters, and that it is on record that the success rate for BVAS accreditation stands at 98% compared to the smart card readers' 29.2% during the 2019 general election. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The European Union Election Observation Mission reports on Nigeria's 2023 presidential election continues to generate reactions from different quarters. The coalition of civil society organizations for Tinubu and Shettima were at the European Union office in Abuja.
Carrying various placards to physically present their response and observations to the European Union officials, the coalition were at the EU office in Abuja in their numbers, although they could not gain access to the EU premises due to the presence of heavily armed security operatives. The engagement was held some meters away from the EU office.
Nigeria want to measure up with European Union countries. Nigeria want to be like the United States. Nigeria want to be like the Great Britain. Nigeria is striving seriously to be like every first and second world countries of the world. So we will not henceforth condone any false report. We will not henceforth condone any manipulated reports against our dear country.
The election was fair and fair, and we stand by it, and we stand to defend the mandate. The European Union conclusion about fraudulent election does not arise at all, it's unwarranted. And we believe also that it is orchestrated by the detractors of Nigeria's democracy.
Representatives of the European Union refused to make comment despite requests from the journalist. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullah Igwanara, NTA News.
The Progressive League of Youth Voters for Tinubu and Shettima has listed areas of priority for quick intervention by the current administration at a media briefing in Abuja. The group's national coordinator, Abdul Usman Shuaibu, requested speedy implementation of plans on unemployment, national security, economy, corruption and youth inclusion in appointments as contained in the Renewed Hope documents.
We are using this platform to assure the President and the Vice President of youth support to also assure the youth that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima have the strength of character and dedication to mitigate these problems, even exceed our expectation. As we can see, they are already adopting a headline: commitment to the principles of democratic good governance, and evident in fuel subsidy removal.
Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports that the League of Youth Voters for Tinubu acknowledged the leadership activities showcased by President Bola Tinubu so far. The APC concerned stakeholders in Nasarawa State have appealed to the President and the National Assembly to wade into the leadership issue at the State House of Assembly for the sustenance of democracy and peace. The group made the plea at a briefing in Abuja. Ifoma Ojinta was there.
Emergence of two speakers at the Nasarawa State House of Assembly since the inauguration of the present administration has hindered the smooth takeoff of activities of the state legislative arm. This development concerned APC stakeholders in Nasarawa State say is not healthy for democracy and good governance.
We appeal to the leadership of the National Assembly to intervene and take over the leadership of the State Assembly pending the resolution of the crisis.
They expressed concerns that the issue, which has lingered for weeks, if not checked, can cause disunity and affect the peace Nasarawa State is known for.
There's already a setback. Every state is moving forward. We want this to come to an end. We don't want Nasarawa State to continue to be on the bad news.
They, however, appealed for due process to be followed in the resolution of the matter. Ifoma Ojinta, NTA News.
Now, Lagos State Government's on policy framework for hygiene and sanitation. This and more from our Lagos Center with Adeola Kameakiri as our guide. Hello, Adeola, it's over to you.
Thank you, Lami. Lagos State Government is working on a regulatory framework that will encourage private sector participation with a view to providing safe water and attaining desirable level of sanitation and hygiene across the metropolis. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu disclosed this at the 2023 International Water Conference organized by the Lagos State Water Regulatory Commission. Musa Toliat has the details.
Disposal and environmental degradation have negative consequences on provision of clean water to residents of any given society. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who was represented by his deputy, Obafemi Hamzat, told the gathering that the state is coming up with a sustainable regulatory framework that will set clear standards, define roles and responsibilities of stakeholders in achieving water security and hygiene across the metropolis.
It is therefore crucial that we get in front of this issue and come up with sustainable strategies that will provide safe water and good sanitation and ensure better hygiene for the people of our state. Our administration is committed to providing easy access to safe water and hygiene, of course, not just because it is expected of us, but because we know that it is fundamental to human survival. And as a matter of fact, it's a right and a force within our welfare policy for the state.
Our goal is to highlight and unravel the dimensions and intricacies of the challenges of sanitation delivery in Lagos, the fastest growing megacity in Africa, with almost 40% of Lagosians not having access to decent toilets.
Lagos State government is collaborating with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to address the challenges posed by the increasing demand for clean water and proper sanitation infrastructure.
The Federal Ministry of Water Resources is honored and it remains committed to supporting initiatives that promote sustainable water management, sanitation and hygiene in Lagos and beyond. Let us therefore seize this opportunity to chart a course towards a brighter and more sustainable future.
The theme of the Lagos International Water Conference is Accelerating Sanitation and Hygiene in a Mega City, Regulation and Innovation. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Cold Hub, a Nigerian company that operates solar-powered cold storage, has unveiled 5 units, 20 tons refrigerated trucks into the transportation service in Nigeria. Chief Executive Officer and founder Cold Hub Nigeria, Nnaemeka Ikegwonu, who unveiled the 5 vans in Lagos, said the state-of-the-art refrigerated trucks would help preserve the integrity and freshness of perishable goods.
Statistics by the Nigerian Stored Products Research Institute
NSPRI shows that perishables like tomato, pawpaw and other vegetables and fruits have constantly faced the challenge of spoilage, especially in Nigeria, where post-harvest losses are as high as 40%. The situation is not just robbing farmers of valuable income, it is also denying consumers of appropriate food and costing the nation the constituent part of our gross domestic product, GDP. To this end, Cold Hubs Logistics is providing an alternative means of transportation for perishables with the introduction of refrigerated trucks, which will serve as a stopgap measures for farmers in Nigeria.
What we are doing with Cold Hubs is to build solar-powered cold rooms and connect them with refrigerated trucks. And then the trucks picks up food from the cold rooms in the farms or the production centers and brings them all the way down to the cold rooms in the market, the distribution centers or destination that is preferred by the clients.
Really help us in projecting the capacity that we as Nigerians have when we have the wherewithal to do the right thing. So the government sees what we are doing in the private sector. The government will be able to focus policies and direct their intervention policies to where that is actually needed, that will have a domino effect on the economy.
The 5 trucks have advanced cooling systems and compartments that guarantee optimal temperature control, maintaining the quality of goods during transit.
Refrigerated truck is a cutting-edge services that help us to utilize and maintain freshness of food produce across the country, ensuring that our customers also were able to get their goods in good health.
Very highly efficient cold chain vans, trucks would help in the logistic industry.
Established in 2015 as a solution provider in the agricultural supply chain, Cold Hub remains a reference hub for farmers with the first of its kind technology in the country. In Lagos, Larry Bulayi, NTA News.
And that's a contribution from Lagos. Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. Mina Okwabase in Enugu is where the baton will fall after this break. To stay with us.
Good evening and thanks for joining us here in Enugu. Research has shown that early administration of antiretroviral drugs in infants with HIV can save lives, yet coverage of critical intervention amongst children remains low. It is against this backdrop that stakeholders are calling for renewed commitment towards bridging the gaps in pediatric HIV case, especially funding and care. Susan Eze reports on global efforts to reduce HIV-related mortality in children.
According to the HIV and AIDS Global Snapshot by UNICEF, only about 52% of the over 1.7 million children aged 0 to 14 living with HIV globally were receiving the life-saving antiretroviral therapy as at 2021.
The promotion of this pediatric case finding will help us to detect most of these pediatrics, the children that are left out, mostly those in the rural areas.
With a renewed focus to meet the 2025 global target, which aims that 95% of those with HIV get diagnosed, 95% of those diagnosed get on treatment, and 95% of those on treatment get to be virally suppressed and sustained. Active players in this sector recommend national partnerships with faith-based organizations to help fill the gaps, particularly in HIV case findings among children. To meet the target, challenges associated with poverty and stigmatization must be tackled.
Some mothers, because they don't have access to good hospitals, they run to the traditional birth attendants. And most of these traditional birth attendants don't have the access to giving them quality care.
To close HIV case findings and treatment gaps in children, the World Health Organization recommends that children born to mothers with HIV are tested by 2 months of age, and positive children must be started on antiretroviral drugs immediately. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
Ebonyi State government is engaging heads of federal establishments in the state on ways of harnessing programs, policies, and projects of the federal government for the well-being of the citizens. Caleb Obinna reports that the move will further strengthen the presence of federal agencies in the state for effective service delivery system.
On the instance of Ebonyi State government, a formal introduction and brief presentation of operations by heads of federal establishments was organized to explore avenues of helping the federal agencies maximize the programs, policies, and projects of the federal government for the well-being of the people of Ebonyi State. The Secretary to the State Government, Professor Grace Umezurike, while assuring them of state government support and collaboration in their operations, called for synergy.
There's a lot the state stands to benefit from you, and there's also a lot you stand to benefit from the state. But all these things can happen when we have good understanding and function the way we should. And we can only function the way we should if you play your part and we play our own parts.
For the federal establishments, the meeting availed them the opportunity to cross-fertilize ideas on how best to complement the state government's efforts for the development of the state.
We are ready to partner with the state government, and we will be abiding by the laws of the state and the federal government. We are very grateful for the cooperation we have been having with the state government, both the past government and the present government. 80% of us are housed by the state government.
Having articulated their areas of concern, the federal agencies in Ebonyi State pledged to collaborate with the state government for the development of the state. In Abakaliki, Caleb Obunna, NTA News.
And that's a bit from here. The news continues with Lami in Abuja.
Thank you so much, Mina. Now, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has overturned the conviction of Senator Peter Nwobushi and his sentencing to 7 years imprisonment for fraud-related offences and money laundering. The Apex Court, in a split decision of 4-1, gave the order this Friday in Abuja. The court also ordered the immediate release of Nwobushi, who represented Delta North in the 9th Senate, from Ikoyi prisons in Lagos, where he is currently in custody. The Apex Court equally freed the two companies tried with him on a 2-count charge brought against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. By this verdict, the Apex Court has set aside the July 1st, 2022 judgments of the Court of Appeal Lagos Division, which had reversed their discharge and acquittal by a federal high court in Lagos. In a lead judgment by Justice Emmanuel Agim, the Apex Court held that Nwobushi and the two companies were unjustly and maliciously prosecuted by the EFCC for committing no offences known to the law and subjected them to a criminal trial in relation to a civil transaction needlessly. The Adamawa State Police Command has paraded 14 suspected kidnappers terrorizing the people of Yola North, Yola South and Fufore local government areas of the state. The Commissioner of Police, Afolabi Babalola, says the arrests were as a result of renewed effort and strategy of the command to rid the state of kidnappers and other criminal elements. Simon Asha brings us the details.
The suspects, who were arrested in Gujibaba village of Yolasar local government area of Adamawa State, after receiving the sum of 2 million naira as ransom from their victims, confessed to be responsible for kidnapping activities in the Pathe community, Fofore, Ibango along Barracks Road, Yola.
I am a kidnapper. We only kidnap one person in Gujibabu village. I was given 200,000 as part of my shield.
The police public relations officer, Adamawa State Police Command, Suleiman Yaya Ingroji, who paraded the suspects on behalf of the Commissioner of Police, assured of police relentless effort to ensure security of lives and property of the citizenry and call on the people to assist the police with vital information to enable it to tackle any security challenges head-on.
We are assuring members of the public that investigation is still ongoing, and as soon as that is done, we are going to charge this suspect we are seeing to court so that law will take its course.
Items recovered from the suspects are 4 locally made guns and a pistol, with the suspects say they used in terrorizing their victims. In Yola, Simon Asher, NTA News.
Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule has underscored the need for the society to be proactive towards issues of insecurity. Governor Sule said this when he received the North Central Director of the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, retired Major General Hamza Baturi. Aliu Tijani reports.
Governor Abdullahi Sule says the establishment of the National Center for Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons is apt in order to checkmate the proliferation of arms in the country. He stresses the need for peace as a prerequisite for development and notes that the center will go a long way in enhancing peace and harmony.
Peace is a responsibility of every one of us. Security is also everyone's responsibility. So we welcome this idea that they have brought in people who understand what small arms are all about and giving you the opportunity really to work very hard in ensuring that we resolve this matter.
Underscoring the need for all segments of the society to play a role in enhancing security, the zonal head says the North Central Zone of the center is established to check the proliferation of small arms and light weapons and has made significant breakthrough. He emphasizes that the center has been committed to sensitization of the public and other relevant security outfits, as he discloses that more than 3,000 weapons have been seized and destroyed. In Lafia, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
A senior advocate of Nigeria, Omonuwa Omorui, has advised Nigerians to take advantage of the alternative dispute resolution to resolve matters outside the rules of litigation to reduce the stress on Nigerian courts. He stated this as the Solomon Ehigiato Arasi Foundation's second annual lecture and scholarship awards in Benin, Edo State. Rosemary Omani brings us the details.
The second Solomon Arase Foundation annual lecture, titled Benefits of ADR in Civil and Criminal Cases by the Law Enforcement Agencies in Nigeria, reappraised the essence of alternative dispute resolution in settling disputes. Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Omonuwa Omorui, represented, says with the exception of criminal matters in some cases, alternative dispute resolution remains the easiest way to resolve disputes without a trial.
What we are proposing by this paper is that ADRs should be strategically used by law enforcement agencies in well-suited cases.
Edo State Deputy Governor Philip Shawibu, in his contribution, commended the organizer, former Inspector General of Police and Chairman Police Service Commission, Solomon Arasem, for his great humanitarian gesture.
You are now in a sector where we need to produce more Solomon Arase. Whoever we are employing now, we have to be somebody like you.
The lecture, which coincided with former IGP Solomon Arase's birthday, also witnessed presentation of scholarship awards to some indigent students, including children of police officers who lost their lives in active service.
The idea, therefore, is to recruit and continue with the successful ones among them based on excellent academic records, and provide scholarship grants on the completion of their university education.
The foundation offers unparalleled opportunity for outstanding but indigent students to secure scholarship to complete their education with ease. In Benin, Rosemary Omani, NTA News.
We join Agatha in Benin for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Agatha.
Thank you for joining us in Benin.
Ondo State Command of the Nigerian Police has arrested 3 suspects in connection with the kidnap of one Ali Bodunde from his farm in Usho, our local government area of Ondo State. Abiola Ariyo has details.
A 40-year-old cattle rearer, Isabelo, and his daughter, Isabelo, and 19-years-old Muina Muhammad were arrested in connection with the kidnap of Ali Bondude in his farm at Ushu in Owo on 14th June 2023. The police public relations officer Fumilayo Lami, while briefing journalists on the suspects, said the SIM card used by the kidnappers to collect the 2 million naira ransom from the victim's family belongs to Mr. Isabelo.
Victims himself have been able to identify the Muina Muhammad to be the ringleader of those who kidnapped him, and of course at the end of investigation they will be charged to court.
Mr. Isabelo, who submitted himself to the police, said that until his summoned, he was not aware nor took part in any crime, except that he gave his SIM card to his daughter Aisha Bello, who later gave it to the cattle rearer Muina Muhammad, whom the victim has identified as one of the 3 men that kidnapped him.
They asked, girl, give me my. He said me that, say me dollars. I say I no agree.
Muina Muhammad denied knowing the said Miss Aisha Bello. Investigation continues by the police. In Akure, Abiola Ariyo, NTA News.
Commuters plying the Benin-Auchi road are lamenting the deplorable condition of the road and many other federal roads across the country. They are speaking against the dilapidated state of the Auchi-Ekpoma axis of the road, which is now abandoned despite the federal government's promise last year to fix the road before the rains. Akim Etayokai has the report.
The traffic situation on the Auchi-Ekpoma road is no longer due to the bad state of the road that now makes articulated vehicle drivers to spend days on the road. Truck drivers are worst hit by the dilapidating nature of the road as cars, buses can navigate or find alternative routes to Benin. Some drivers appealed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to declare a state of emergency on the repairs of all federal roads in Nigeria.
Before we follow Obajina to FL ejection. FL ejection no good. Here myself no good. We do 2, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. So we never come out for a year.
Federal government, this new government, make it help us. People they die for this road. People they sleepless nights. I don't get this road this week, 2 weeks now. I never reach where they go.
We are begging federal government to please to do all the federal road for us.
Some drivers plying the said the bad nature of the Auchi-Ekpoma road has put pressure on the Auchi-Afuze-Sabuguda road, which is almost becoming impassable.
Every time traders used to pass here now, they don't follow the other Ekpoma road again. They always block the road, they always spoil on the road.
Commuters traveling from Auchi to Benin are advised to take alternative routes as the Auchi-Ekpoma is almost impassable. In Auchi, Akim Etayokai, NTA News.
And that concludes our package on Nationwide. Asmao has the next line of reports in Sokoto, but that's after this break. Stay with us.
Good evening, everyone. It's still Nationwide. Welcome to Sokoto. As part of efforts to check the late coming to work, Governor Ahmad Ali of Sokoto on Thursday locked up the main entrance to the government house. Dalhatu Abdullahi reports that with this development, many staff of the government house were barred from the government.
It's past 9 in the morning without waiting for his driver. On reaching government house, the governor observed that only few staff were at their workplace. This informed the decision of the governor to order the government house gate to be locked up. leaving even the senior civil servants out. With the gate locked up, even the most senior staff were not allowed in based on the governor's directives. The gate remained closed for about 3 hours and many workers were left stranded, reflecting on the governor's action. Governor Ahmad Aliyu said the action is to make the workers alive to their responsibilities. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The Kebbi State government is taking steps to rebuild the dwindling economic sector of the state. The state deputy governor, Senator Umar Abubakar, began the process by supporting 2,000 small and medium-scale businesses across the state. Abdul Jalil Muhammad Bawa tells us more.
The sudden increase in the price of fuel has practically affected all spheres of life, including the small-medium entrepreneurs. Capital and purchasing power has killed many businesses. This is why the Kebbi State Deputy Governor, Senator Umar Abubakar Tafida, launched 200 million naira livelihood intervention program for 2,000 beneficiaries across 21 local government areas in the state.
The empowerment is timely. I will make judicious use of the money.
Grant is aimed at empowering women and youth across the state in order to boost their businesses for increased economic activities across the state.
This consideration of this situation that our present administration of Dr. Nasarawa Assembly deems it appropriate to come off with this intervention program to make people gainfully self-employed.
It is nothing to note that these beneficiaries were mined from the register of the poor and vulnerable across the state.
The livelihood support grant is the second in series conducted by Kebbi State government. The deputy governor also inspected state-owned moribund companies with the aim of reviving them for the development of the state and the country in general. In Birnin Kebbi, Abdul Jalil Muhammad Bawa, NTA News.
Well, that's our package from Sokoto. Nationwide will continue with Lami in Abuja.
Thank you, Nana. Employers of labor want the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, NSITF, to carry out more sensitization on the benefits of employees' compensation scheme. They emphasize on this after understanding the importance of the federal government support system to improving productivity at a sensitization workshop for micro, small and medium enterprise in selected zones of Abuja, Yola, Kano and Kaduna. Joseph Otsen reports.
Employees' Compensation Scheme enabled the National Social Insurance Trust Fund to pay compensation to persons affected by workplace hazards.
I work in the form.
But not many employers of labor, both in the formal and informal sector, understand how the scheme operates for them and their employees to reap the benefits.
Right before now, some people will be coming to work, they will have accidents, they will go and use their money to treat themselves, not knowing that they have already paid for such treatments.
Because many people don't know about these acts, so it's hell. But today is the eye-opener to us, with the employers. As we after maybe making investigations on the incident that they report to us, we can maybe pay their compensations.
Workshops like this to key players will enlighten both employers and employees on how the support system can be of help to victims of workplace accidents.
I don't have to worry about how to pay my bills. If you lose a staff, for example, the family don't need to worry too much about how to, feed and all of that, because once you have keyed in, then automatically NSITF plays that role.
The scheme came into existence with the establishment of the Social Security Act 2010, and so far, the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund says thousands have benefited from its services. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
Governor Doye has inaugurated projects executed by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime and funded by the German government. The projects executed in Otwan community in southern Niger local government area of Bayelsa State includes a police post, youth development center and cassava processing equipment. Fred Wayfair reports.
Inaugurating the projects by the German government and the UNODC in partnership with the state government, Governor Diri stressed that the collaboration have yielded positive results in crime prevention and promoting community development. The governor also noted that the best way to control crime is prevention, as he responded to earlier requests made by the indigenes of Otuan community.
Now, part of the efforts that we have done that has yielded fruit is today, through the UNODC and the German government. I salute you for working with the Bayelsa state government and for listening over the period that the best way to control crime is to prevent crime.
I hope this equipment will help you to use these opportunities. Just imagine the potential that you have here. Finally, the initiative also provides for solar lighting.
We need to ensure sustainability. And I would like to invite the Bayelsa state government and the 3 pilot communities, Otuan being one of them, to engage with us at UNODC to develop a sustainability plan.
Indigenes of the community expressed gratitude to the German government for the gesture, as the projects will enhance training of the youths. Fred Uwefie, NTA News.
Let's now have some news from the world of sports.
On the FIFA Women's World Cup, Nigeria's High Commission in Australia has charged the Super Falcons to go all out and make Nigeria proud at the 2023 FIFA World Cup. At a welcome party for the team in Gold Coast, the High Commissioner promised them total support from the Nigerian community to ensure the team goes beyond the quarterfinals. Nigeria Super Falcons kick off their campaign against Canada on 21st July 2023. In basketball, ahead of the 2023 FIBA Afro Basket Women Championship, scheduled for Kigali, Rwanda from July 28 to August 6, newly appointed coach of Nigeria's D Tigress, Reina Wakama, says she's ready to build a team that will defend the title. Wakama, a former player and currently assistant coach of Tony Brook University, believes with the quality of players in the team and proper preparations, the team will achieve its objectives.
The brand of basketball that I'm going to put out is going to be immaculate. We're going to be fast. We're going to be strong, winning championships, but also doing it the right way. Okay, I want to make sure our culture is tight. I want to make sure our players know, this is bigger than them. We're representing our country. So I want to make sure, obviously, we win. In volleyball, Nigeria's under-21 women's volleyball team beat their Ghanaian counterpart 3-0 in their first match at the ongoing Africa Under-21 Women's Nations Volleyball Championship Zone 3 in Niger Republic. The game ended 25-11, 25-15, and 25-8.
The way we train the girls, their best is not yet out. Since they've won with this match, you will see what they will play in the second game when we are meeting Niger and other countries.
Coach of the team, Rakia Mohammed, says the team is ready to win the tournament and prepare for the 2023 FIVB Under-19 World Championship as Nigeria faces Niger on Friday. With Sports Update, Gift George, NTA News.
The Permanent Secretary, Federal Capital Territory Administration, Olushade Adeshola, has expressed sadness over the demise of the pioneer Chief Executive of the FCT, late Chief Mobolaji Adeogun. Olushade Adeshola expressed this in a condolence message to the deceased family home in Lagos. Unozi Akubu reports.
Presented by the Executive Secretary, Federal Capital Development Authority, Shehu Hadi Ahmad, the delegation was in the family home of late Chief Mobolaji Adeogun in Lagos on Condolence. He described Chief Adeogun as a highly respected and revered personality, saying that his death is a great loss to the FCT and the nation as a whole. Speaking on behalf of the family, Ayode Ajose Adeogun expressed the family's deep appreciation for the visit. The late FCT Chief Executive was the Federal Commissioner for Special Duties, Federal Capital Development Authority, from 1976 to 1979. He died at the age of 96. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
And that does it on Nationwide. Join us at 6, 7 and 9 for more reports. Have a good weekend.